On this episode, we're going to talk more on New Japan's latest, or should I say, the continuation of Summer Struggle, but also we're getting closer and closer to the Super Junior Tag League finals with only two matches involved with the semis. As you know, Bullet Club members Ghetto and Dick Toker are out, and of course, so is Roppongi 3K until we saw the vicious betrayal of Sho to Yo. Also, we got AEW Dark with another 11 stacked matches that were really amazing to see, with an interesting main event with Dante Martin taking on Lee Moriarty. Also, we have NXT with some very interesting news with the Cruiserweight did not happen match because due to the fact that Kushida was not medically cleared, but however, the NXT tag team titles were on the line between MSK and Imperium, and many things took place. Also going to throw in a past event by Big Japan Pro Wrestling, the Ikitu Stone Death Match Survival 2021, which was the final event. Even though I did not see the whole thing, but this one is a very interesting event. However, there is no NWA Power today. They only had like reviewing everything since we're getting closer and closer to NWA 73, and of course the NWA Empower, which is the first ever female show that's going to take place. So, let's get ready to watch another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with New Japan Pro Wrestling with the continuation of Summer Struggles. And like I said, we're getting closer and closer to the finale of Super Junior Tag League, which normally happens every year, but last year they couldn't do that. They did not have enough junior heavyweight tag teams, but now they did. Well, not enough, but enough for them to continue on. So let's go with the opening match. Is the Great Okan taking on Tomoaki Hamna. Now Hamna, as you know, he is a good wrestler, but however, Great Okan is the most vicious of the kind. As you know, he is the so-called proud owner of the Mongolian chops. But as you know, he's one of the most dangerous individuals that New Japan has to offer, and ever since he formed the United Empire with Ospreay, he continues to be more impressive. What does this mean that Empire is over? No, I don't know, but we'll get to that in another time. But however, Great Okan won as he normally would do, but he did not give a promo like he did. Either he is pissed off that New Japan stripped Ospreay for the title, and as you know, Will Ospreay claims that he is the real world champion. Shikagi is the fake or the interim. So, however it goes. Next match is a tag team match. We got Togi Makabe teaming with his former GBH teammate, who is now a member of Chaos, Toru Yano, to take on Bullet Club, Yado, and Chase Owens. Once again, the feud between Chase and Yano continues on. However, this match ended in a very funny moment where Yano got himself low blowed by Yano when the ref didn't see, or as Kevin Kelly would say, "Oh, my monitor is broken," meaning that something happened and it allowed him to win. But however, Chase Owens did not take this kindly. He attacked Yano with the bull strap to send a message to him. But however, Makabe showed up with a steel chain in order for him to back off, which he did. But however, the feud between Yano and Chase is far from over until Wrestle Grand Slam. Now the next match we got, once again, Satoshi Kojima, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto taking on members of Suzuki-gun once again. Doiki, Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, and Zack Jr. But the only difference in this one, Last time, it was Satoshi, Tent, Yoshihashi, and Goto that won, but this time it did not. It favored in the hands of Suzuki-gun, but however, it was Taichi that was able to win this match when he pinned Yoshihashi. Now, does this mean will he answer for this never open with six-man tag? I don't know, because right now they're mostly focused on the tag team titles, the IWGP heavyweight titles that they have to put on the line against two other contenders, and that is LIJ and of course Yoshihashi and Goto of Chaos. Now, the next two matches are the Super Junior Tag Leagues. As I mentioned before, Bullet Club members Geto and Dick Togo are out, and so is Roppongi 3, but now they're disbanded. The first match we have is Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Tiger Mask and Robbie Eagles. Now, this match was a very interesting one because everybody wants to see them succeed or move on, but I think it played out in a very interesting way. Now, as you know, Tiger Mask is not a member of Chaos. Robbie is, but I don't know if that played out well, or they still have plans for Robbie Eagle, what they're going to do with him as the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion. But basically, Ryusuke Taguchi won this match when he pinned Tiger Mask, and of course, Robbie Eagles was disappointed. But right up front, right almost not that far from him, is one of his challengers, Hiromu Takahashi, is watching. So the real question is, when will that match happen? Now we get to the main event, which we have Suzuki-gun, Kanemaru, and Despi taking on the Bullet Club, El Fantasmo, and Taiji Shimori. This match, as you know, this isn't the first time these guys had tangled with each other. The last time they actually, last time these guys ever ran in, it's always been the same old story. But however, in this fashion matter, they did not get away with the sudden death, and it was just too simple. But however, it was Kanemaru who pulled it off to pick up the victory, and however, Phantasmo and Ishimori are shocked. This may most likely means that Phantasmo and Ishimori are out, and that means they will be facing Wato and Taguchi in the finals, which is the last thing these guys want. Now, why is that? Simple. If you are the champions involved in the league tournament, then that means you guys will choose who you want to face. That's how it is. But however, if the challengers were able to get to the finals, well, they will be the ones to facing you, and that's what happened. We'll see what's going to take place in the following time. Okay, so we got AEW Dark once again. The opening match this time is 2.0. Matt Lee and Jeff Parker taking on Sam Adams and Skylar Andrews. Now, keep in mind, this match is their 2.0 are getting ready to be in a Texas Tornado tag team match against Sting and Darby Allin. Now, 2.0 have now becoming one of those tag teams that they play good as a heel, even do some good in-ring work, which is something we could have seen more in their previous promotion they were in, and I have to say they're doing pretty good. However, they may not be in Dynamite. Mostly been seeing them on Dark or Elevation. I have to say they're progressing a little further. There's still no word yet if they will be signed by AEW, because I know AEW are making the tag team division down there very, very popular. The next match we have Tay Conti taking on Rebecca Scott. This match was same as always with Tay Conti, using a lot of the judo techniques, pump kicks, and all that. Even the fans were enjoying interacting with her when she tries to beat up her opponent, and that's what she normally does. And she won her match just like that. The next up, we got Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson, along with Arn Anderson, taking on Joe Keys and Spencer Slade. Now we're seeing this brand new tag team, Brock Anderson and Lee. This is the first time these two actually teamed up. I have to say this is a tag team we definitely need to pay attention to, because they may be one of those tag teams that could go to the top once to maybe obtain the AEW tag team titles. And of course, Brock, who is the son of Arn Anderson, the Enforcer, he kind of reminds me a bit more like his dad. You know, some of his technique that he's been using. And of course, it was Brock who pinned his opponent, and allowing himself to win for him and for his teammate. Next up, we got Matt Hardy along with Private Party taking on Wheeler Yuta, who's being accompanied by Chuck Taylor. Now, this match was very interesting, but however, as you always know with Matt Hardy, the number games was just too much. As you know, the Private Party were able to ensure that Matt Hardy wins the match, and because Hardy took his boot, whacked Wheeler Yuta. They even attacked Chuck Taylor to ensure they send a message, but Orange Cassidy comes out and gives Matt Hardy a orange punch, and he was being carried out by Private Party with his legs open. I thought it was just too funny. Next match we have is for the women's division. We have Penelope Ford taking on Masha Slamovich. It was a pretty good match. Even Thunder Rosa was watching this. She was part of the commentary group. She knows Masha. She actually been in her promotion, Mission Pro Wrestling, and it was pretty much it. But however, Penelope Ford was the better competitor in this match. But however, because she won the match, she decided to punish Slamovich even more. But Thunder Rosa wasn't going to tolerate her being that. So could we see a feud between these two? Most likely, yes. Next up, we got Chris Statlander with everybody from Wheeler Yuta, Orange Cassidy, and Chuck Taylor taking on Kiera Hogan. I have to say this match was pretty good. I enjoyed Chris Statlander facing Kiera Hogan, even though she is not a full-time member of the roster. But maybe one day we can see that, but we'll see when time will tell. But I did enjoy the match a whole lot because it kind of showed Chris Statlander could be one of those competitors that could face Britt Baker for the AEW Women's title. We will find out. But she finished Kiera Hogan up with the Big Bang Theory. Next up, we got Chaos Project teaming up with Cole Carter. As you know, they don't take outsiders, but he was ruining certain things, and they were taking on Death Triangle. Now, this much of the match, there's a bit more funny moments, even though there was later on where, of course, Chaos Project, mostly Luther, abandoned Cole Carter to the Wolves, and they walked away with thinking they were going to get away with it, but Phoenix took them out. And then once again, but during the match, we saw Andrade showing up, tries to get in their heads, but it didn't work. Excuse me. And however, it was Penta who pinned Cole Carter, and 1, 2, 3, it's over, baby. Next up, we got Nyla Rose along with Vicky taking on Tina San Antonio. Now, this match ended very interesting with the Beast Bomb by Nyla, but however, Vicky Guerrero just sent out a message to the locker room that she'll be coming for the AEW Women's title. Now, that is still on the agenda. So, it's still, the question is, when will that happen again? We do know that Nyla did lose previously to Britt Baker, but this will not be the end of it. Next up, we got Dark Order members, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and 10 taking on Bill Collier, Andrew Palace, and RSP. It was a very good match. I did like this combination of the trios in this match, but however, it was 10 that actually put Bill Collier in the Nelson lock and making him pass out, and it was over by then before he could even progress even further. Next match we have, of course, Brandon Cutler with MT Nakasawa taking on the Elite Hunter, Michael Nakasawa. Frankie Kazarian. But this match was a bit more comical than, an actual serious match. Brandon Cutler tried to run away, but he couldn't. But I think the part that screwed him up is when he got the cold spray, tried to hurt Kazarian, but he accidentally shot himself with the cold spray, not thinking what if it wasn't working. But it did. But it did cost him his match. Excuse me. Next match we have the Wingmen, Drake, Avalon, Meneth, and of course Benoni taking on Varsity Blondes, and accompanied by Julia and the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. What a good match. I enjoyed how everything was being played out. Even the big man Luchasaurus, our dinosaur, was the last one to come in, and he took care of business. But it was um, Jungle Boy that put Peter Avalon in a snare trap, and it was over, and he tapped out one way or the other. Now, our main event is Dante Martin taking on Lee Moriarty. If you guys know who he is a sensational wrestler in the independent scenes, especially in GCW. Lee Moriarty kind of impressed me a lot in this match because I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but it played out pretty well. But it was Dante Martin who won the match with this amazing springboard uh, double. I don't know. It was kind of crazy, but I enjoyed the match. I love Dante Martin, what he can do. He surprises me a whole lot. So we will see more of Dante soon. And of course, Lee Moriarty, we'll see him somewhere with GCW down the line. So I think that's pretty much it with AEW. I think right now the next we got is NXT. Alrighty, so we got NXT right now. We were supposed to have the NXT Cruiserweight title on the line. However, Kushida was unable to put the title on the line due to he was not medically cleared. It's still no indication. I did not check Twitter for anything whatsoever. I had other things going on with me. But however, I like how the story was built up on this, where Diamond Mine, mostly Malcolm Bivens, was saying that he thinks that Kushida is lying to everyone about his so-called whatever he was not medically clear for. But however, he did put out an open challenge, and the person who challenged Roderick Strong was none other than the Russian Ilya Dragunov. I have to say this match was pretty darn good. I love how they were putting up the intensity, the brutality, especially when Dragunov was bleeding through his head. And I saw blood all over Roderick Strong. I'm like thinking, oh god, this is really insane. But it played out a very prestigious story. But it was Dragunov that put the Moscow torpedo, whatever he called it, to put Roderick Strong down. However, Malcolm Bivens did stated that that particular match did not happen because A, Dragunov is a heavyweight, and two, Roderick Strong is a cruiserweight. I mean, what difference does it make? But Malcolm Bivens did say that they will get a shot of the cruiserweight title no matter what. Now, we're getting closer and closer to what we are expecting as the undisputed finale. We did Prime Target actually showed clips from how this whole thing began all the way to now. As you know, each competitor had won on two separate matches. Um, Kyle O'Reilly beat Cole in a an unsanctioned match, and of course, Cole defeated O'Reilly in a straight up match. But now this is leading to where it definitely is going to be going, but it's going to be one hell of a match. Now, tensions between both Hit Row and Legado continues to boil over. As you know, Legado took the grill, and of course Santos, who said he's a man of his words, did not kept his word. He attacked what's his name, Swerve, but one way or the other, it was a trap. You should have seen this coming, but luckily Top Dollar and Adonis went down to rescue, but BFAB managed to help them out when she whacked one of the Stooges, and of course, Swerve got his grill back. But however, I believe this feud between Hit Row and Legado is far from over because Santos believes that Swerve got something that belongs to him, and that what belongs to him is the NXT North American title. Now, Imperium, as you all know, has been trying to prove a point ever since they made their presence that they believe guys like MSK who don't deserve to be champions. They are not true wrestlers. They are an embarrassment to the world of pro wrestling. That's what they want to believe. and they believe they will make this um, tag team division purify, and they will not tolerate MSK being there, including Walter, who was there to give their blessing, knowing that the mat is sacred, as always. Now, this next match, it had Cameron Grimes versus Josh Briggs. This is something that, what's his name, LA Knight decided to set up, but however, he had to make a bet with DiBiase. The match was pretty good and fun. However, it was Grimes who won this match. Excuse me. When he pulled off the cave-in onto Briggs, but LA Knight was livid. He was not happy. But however, in the back, Ted DiBiase wanted to apologize how things have been, but Cameron Grimes, he's not like that. He feels he put himself into this, and then he started to believe he is a champion. But can he beat LA Knight at Takeover, and to ensure that he is truly the real $1 million man that he's meant to be, to continue on the legacy? Now we get a little funny moment. We have the Garganos. As you know, I failed to mention this a while ago. It was announced by both Garganos. Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano are expecting, and I'm like, congratulations, guys. This is good. I'm not sure if they're going to put them, if Candice LeRae is going to be out of action for who knows how long. It's still no determination. But they're continuing with the story with Index, if you guys are referring to Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. I have to say it's a pretty good segment where both sides are like all this and that, and and Indy Hartwell is enjoying her time with Dexter Lumis. But however, she now has to focus on her first ever mixed tag team, where she teams with Dexter Lumis to take on Jessica Kamea and Robert Stone, being accompanied by none other than Frankie Monet. The match was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Even Robert Stone, don't know what the hell is he thinking, but the moron kind of started doing things inappropriately. But of course, Frankie Monet also screwed herself over when she got thrown out for grabbing Lumis and Dexter and pulling her in the ring. But however, the match went great. There were moments of glares and all that, but I think the best moment is when Indy Hartwell had Jessica May and put her in the silencer, and so did Dexter, and that's the best part. Indy won her first mixed tag team match, but however, this is the part where it gets crazy. She proposed to Dexter Lumis. Now, he didn't need to say a word. He just nodded, say yes. They're engaged. And of course, the only person who's going through this whole emotional Cinderella story, Beth Phoenix. I'm like, I knew this is gonna happen. And of course, we got Wade Barrett, who's disgusted. He feels like he's going to puke. I have to say, this is the best story I've ever been in. I'm like thinking, okay, I don't know who's better, Otis or Mandy Rose, or this, Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell. I don't know. They're two different storylines, but I can't decide. You guys tell me, what do you guys think of it? Now, as you know, one-time friends now become bitter enemies. There was an exclusive interview with Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai. Now, you probably ask yourselves this question: why didn't Raquel Gonzalez didn't see? So she explained it. She had that feeling that this is going to happen. She even brought her past. I mean, the people she betrayed. I'm talking about Tegan Knox, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley. So basically, these were people she betrayed. But Dakota Kai believes that she will be the next NXT Women's Champion. But the real question is, can she pull it off? Can Raquel Gonzalez retain the title? Well, we'll see when we get to this Sunday's NXT Takeover. Now, we had two different interviews. Well, I already mentioned one. But this one we're seeing is Starks and Io Shirai. As you know, They're trying to be a cohesive unit, but of course, Io Shirai said they're not friends. They're just colleagues because they're currently the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And I have to say, it's a very fine line where they're stepping in. I think there's some good moments where we're going to see how they're going to go with it. But however, the key thing as a tag team, can they maintain their composure? Can they continue on as a cohesive unit? Well, we'll see when they progress or whoever's going to challenge them down the line. Now, the next match is the semi-final of one bracket for the NXT Breakout Tournament. We now know Odyssey Jones is in the finals, but this is a match between Carmelo Hayes and Duke Hudson. This match was amazing. Now, the reason I say this, you have Carmelo Hayes, he's like a cruiserweight. You got Duke Hudson, who's more of a grappler, kind of like catch point or sort of things. It played out pretty well. Now, Duke Hudson seems like he was a solid wrestler, but Carmelo Hayes has made more headways than all the others combined over the past couple, for about a month or two. But I was impressed how he took out Duke Hudson, allowing himself to win, and he's fully aware who is he facing, and that is Odyssey Jones. Now we get to the match, the NXT Tag Team titles between MSK and Imperium. This match was showing how MSK are not to be taken seriously, not to be, how to say, don't try to fool them or anything, or try to think that they are incapable of being the best competition. As you know, Imperium are trying to prove that this is their division, that they're going to purify the wrestling. Even Walter showed up out of the blue to ensure. He even tried to interfere, but however, he was attacked by Dragunov. But because of that, Imperium, Eichner, and Bartel lost the tag team titles. But however, Walter was furious. He took out MSK, and then he took his aggression out onto Dragunov. But the real question is how Dragunov is going to be this Sunday when he faces Walter for the NXT UK title. But we'll see when we get there. However, the next thing we have is the face-to-face between Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe. This is going to be one hell of a match where Karrion Kross believes that the chaos will ride, but Samoa Joe, he doesn't see it that way. But it exploded. They were fighting everywhere. Even security tried to stop them, but it kind of ended where they went through one of the barriers, and they kind of were lying down along with certain members of the security team. I'm like feeling sorry for the security team because they had to deal with this whole mess. But it is what it is. But the real question is, can Samoa Joe dethrone Karrion Kross and he becomes a two-time NXT champion? Well, we'll see this coming Sunday. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to review, this is from a promotion I hardly actually review, but I get to do it. This is from Big Japan Pro Wrestling. If you guys are not familiarized with this is one of those promotions that do death matches. If you're not a fan of that, then it's okay. You don't have to listen to this. But if you want to, go ahead. Maybe you get an idea. You can see certain clips on YouTube if you want. But this is from one of their events called Iki Tonsen Deathmatch Survivor 2021. So basically, there was a long period of tournament for 14 days. Not exactly straight, but certain times like 2 days of this, 3 days, that sort of thing. But however, this was the finals that they had. It was a pretty interesting event. I recognize one of the competitors. I've seen him before. So, but however, let's just go from start to finish. Oh yeah, and this one took place 2 months ago on June 28th at Corkin Hall. The first match we have Hiroyuki Suzuki and Takudo Kato taking on Katsumasa Yoshida and Kasumi Kikuta. Now, I'm not familiarized with 3 of the 4 competitors, but Kato, I do recognize him. He's a good wrestler. But this was a straight up match, no death matches, that sort of thing. But it was good. But it was Kato that pinned, what's his name? Yoshida for the 1-2-3, and a very impressive win. Next up, we got uh, another straight up match. We got Kota Sekifuda, Tatsuhiko Yoshino taking on Kazuki Ishimoto and Azami Kodaka. Now, Azami Kodaka, I do recognize him. He is the promoter of another deathmatch promotion called Pro Wrestling Bazaar that was once a sister um, promotion with DDT Pro Wrestling, but they went on their own independently. It was a pretty good event, but however, they began to both Koduda and Hashimoto began a feud with their opponents, and of course, in this one, they actually lost big time because Seki Fuda was not too thrilled what they did. They broke a paper that looked more like a certificate, but they never mess with someone's prized possession, and you get your butt kicked. And that's what happened. All thanks to Seki Fuda, who pinned uh, Kodaka for this one. Next match we have is a weapons bringing death match. So that means you bring all the weapons you want on a death match. So we have team number one, Yuki Ishikawa, um, Masuya Takahashi, and Hideyoshi Kamitani taking on Jaki Numasana, Minoru Fujita, and Abudal Kobayashi. Now, this was a pretty interesting match because, I know that what's his name, Minoru Fujita. He's good in death matches, but however, they're the other team, the first team, it was in fact Ishikawa that pinned what's his name, uh, Jackie Muzanawa. I'm like, wow, pretty amazing. So they won this match, but the next death match we have is a TLC. We have Shock G1 1010, consistent of Ikari Ito, uh, Kanduro Oshino, taking on Yuki Miyamoto and Tokimo Tsukamoto. I have to say another love this TLC match because they did everything. However, the way it ended, they put Ito in underneath a pile of chairs, and what's his name? I think that was Yamamoto, who actually did like some sort of a spinal tap type twisty thing on top of him, and they pinned him 1, 2, 3 with that. I'm like, wow, that was very impressive. I enjoyed that particular part of the match. Next up, we got another a straight up match. We have Shigehiro Iro teaming with Yuji Okabayashi and Yuya Aoki taking on Kosuke Koda, Ruda Hamna, and Yasufumu uh, Nakanoe. It's a pretty good match. I think it was pretty amazing. But however, in this one, you got Kata, who actually pinned Aoki for this one and allowing himself to win the team for his team, the 1, 2, 3. The next one is another straight up. We have Daichi Hashimoto taking on Takuya Nomura. But this match ended up more of a bit of a grappling with striking. But it was Hashimoto that was knocked down and wasn't able to get up, so the referee made the decision to call the match, allowing for Nomura to win the match regardless. Now the main event was the final for the Ikitosen, hopefully I pronounced it right, Deathmatch Survival 2020 between Drew Parker and Ryuji Ito. I was shocking seeing Drew Parker bleeding out. I'm like, wow, insane, but he kept going and going. Now, I don't know if winning this match gives you like a shot of a title, but if it did, it would make more sense to me. But I have to say, Drew Parker, I have seen him what he can do in death matches. He appeared in GCW. He appeared in many other promotions, but this is one that I enjoy. With Drew Parker, I have to say he is one guy you gotta pay attention from now on. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, me reviewing NXT, AEW Dark, and of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm sorry there was no NWA for everyone. As you know, we're getting closer and closer to NWA 73 and Empower, but that's for another conversation, for another review time. However, I will review that right now for the upcoming episode. We're going to have the return of Choco Pro Season 9. As you know, this will be the first time Amy Sakura is not involved. She's currently right now here in the States taking her position as a full-time wrestler for AEW. But I can't wait to see what kind of matches they put up for this one. We even got All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, which is going to be one killer with the labor of Jericho taking place. No Judas entrance, no Judas effect. But also decided to throw in two events by DDT Pro Wrestling, Max Bump 2020 Tour, one in Asakusa and Niigata on two separate days. But this is going to be one event that I definitely going to enjoy. So practically these events took place back in mid-April or so, but we'll find out what happened. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu, so goodbye, and have a nice day.